I'm Julia Davis, a film major who stumbled into the business world with no experience in 2006. I was able to fail enough to learn how to run a 7-figure business and have provided consulting services to over 200 individually owned companies. Through this podcast, I hope to provide some perspective on the growth and grit it takes to accomplish big goals and share some hard lessons I've had to learn along the way. Welcome back to the Growth and Grit podcast. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, follow, and share this podcast with a friend who's chasing big goals. You never know who needs that spark of encouragement today. Now, I'm especially excited about today's guest. She's helped thousands of women face one of life's biggest hurdles, especially in business, the fear of being seen. Whether it's showing up on camera, stepping out into their communities, or finding the confidence they need to chase big opportunities, this is the work she leans into every day. Through Conquer with Deb, she has built a movement around helping women silence their fears, step into the spotlight, and build their own place in business and in life. Please welcome Deb. Deb, thanks so much for joining us on the Growth and Grit podcast today. I appreciate your time.
I'm sorry.
Driving over here.
Yes.
So I know you started Conquer with Deb. What inspired you to start this type of business in the first place?
I think that when I was little, I was always like ready to go. I was like the line leader. I was like, ready to do life. But I felt like there was a part of that wasn't nurtured or seen. So as I started growing through life, you go to college, you get a good job and get bored of jobs, and you training a lady that's been there 30 years and you're doing all of the things. And I got to a point where I wanted to kind of just explore different things. And I started coaching. And what I found was a lot of people were brilliant, but they wouldn't execute anything. They were like, oh my God, this sounds fantastic. Perfect strategy. I got it, Deb. I'm going to do it. I'm going to grow my business. And then crickets 48 hours later.
And so they would just lose steam, you think? Or they were too scared to actually do it?
I think it was being very excited about the possibility of it, but the execution of it is scary, a different level.
Yeah. So how do you overcome that?
Yeah. When we birthed Conquer, it was really just about, hey, the strategy is fine, but put yourself out there. I think that the biggest thing is understanding, and we were touching on this a little bit, that a little bit of fear is healthy.
Yeah.
Right. If you're doing something for the first time, that's healthy. But it's just a matter of understanding that if you're going to do something new and big and bold and different, that it's going to feel like a fire in your belly like you've never felt before. And it's totally worth it. But we'll dive into the details of that. But that's what really birthed Conquer, right? This idea of, yes, you're brilliant. Yes, you're pretty. Yes, you want to start a business. But it's going to be a new level of uncomfort that you've probably never seen or experienced before.
And is there something that happened in your own life that made you passionate about this? Or is there a time where you really executed this well and you're like, ooh, I can really help other women do that?
Yeah. I have a background in HR. So I was working my job all the time. I love my job. I had a fantastic job, but I would just see women who were interested in doing things, but they wouldn't take the leap to, I guess, be seen as bold. And even with me and my job, I felt like there were times where I would hesitate on taking on certain things because I didn't want to appear too much. Even in my job, there would be a few times where I would hesitate to speak up because I didn't want to, again, appear to be too much or too bold or doing too much, in the face of everybody else. And I think that even when I was working my job, and I started doing this on the side, Julia. So I started doing it on the side. And of course, the pandemic came. I was coaching this stuff on the side. And I was like, man, I really need to do something bold. And I really want to just help push women into another realm. And the business just started snowballing so much. It pushed my job out of the way. And we both conquered, and it snowballed from there.
Why do you think, kind of going back a little bit, why do you think women in particular struggle with that imposter syndrome type mentality? Because I see that all the time where there is a fear of being too much, or there is a fear of being too bold, or there is a fear of do I really belong in this type of atmosphere? It's where, in your experience working with all these women, where do you feel like that comes from?
I think a couple of things. I think for one, maybe childhood. Maybe I feel like that may be the most relatable to me. You're being smart, but it's like, okay, nah, tone it down a little bit, so you kind of get this idea of I can do it, but I can't do too much. I think that's one thing.
Yeah.
I think another one may be even the way tech has evolved and we look at social media and stuff, right? It's like, oh, they look like they got it together. So I can't be seen starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
They got 6 million followers. What I look like going live with 6 people watching me. So you kind of have this idea of, well, I can't do it because I got to be seen starting at the bottom. Like, what you talking about? And then I think lastly, it's like this very human need or this very human fear of rejection. I think it's real. I think it's in all of us. It's in me, right?
Yeah.
Even with this, like we reach out, like you may be rejected, but I think it may be like a human thing of also like a little fear of rejection too, because we want to be liked. We want to be loved. We want to be seen and appreciated.
And nobody starts with 6 million followers.
Oh, girl.
Right. And I think that really hit it for me just now when you said that, because I've started different things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start this with like 2 people and then it's going to grow to 4 and then 8. And it feels like kind of embarrassing, but in reality, it's like you have to start at some point. And why is that? Like, why do we feel like that? I don't know. It's just like, so how do you get over that? Or how do you coach somebody? This is like for my own therapy.
Yeah. This is really good. I think that I always say this. I say this magical destination that you're looking for, it's the journey that you're going on.
Yeah.
So there's no magical destination. I mean, you got your milestones and goals you want to hit, but it's the journey. And when we talk about starting small, let's say you're hosting your first event or you're hosting your first live, you want a few people. You want to be able to see the pros, the cons, what happens, what doesn't happen.
Yeah.
How do you host 2 people so that you can handle 8 people or 80 people? Go live with 2 people so your mic can mess up and you can get over all of the fears so that when 200 people are there, baby, you are on it. You are in your Oprah era, so you just understand the joys of what it means to say, okay, if I got to steward 2 people, I'm going to learn what I can and just let it grow from there. But like when I say enjoying the journey, truly enjoying the journey. There's no magical destination to come to. Would you want your first live to be 4,000 people watching?
No.
Would you want your first event to be 800 people showing up?
No. Yeah, because then you're just so you can't make any mistakes. Or you can, but it's like you want to go through that's a really good point that I don't think anyone thinks about. I've never thought about it that way, where it's like, I'd rather make a mistake with 4 people than 400. I'd rather my mic not work or my screens go dark or my computer glitch or any of those things with a small group to know what you need to fix or change or adapt to the next thing. But that's a really, really good point. And
even the confidence that you start to nurture, I'm sure when you start small, you walk away with your 2 people, you say, okay, 2 people, I did that. Yeah. And now you're like, okay, well, let me see what I can do next time.
Yeah. And it keeps getting better.
Instead of putting yourself in front of this mountain and you just cower away when that mistake comes up or something. So,
yeah. What was like a pivotal moment in your career where showing up really changed something for you?
Oh, I think when I had, we were pandemic-preneurs, honey. Yeah. The pandemic had money flowing. People just riding down 35, throwing money out the window. So I started selling products during the pandemic. We went to a restaurant. It was like a QR code. What is this? Like, where's the menu? And so I started to do these QR code keychains where if you were networking, you could scan the QR code and we put them on T-shirts. So let's say if me and you're networking, you can scan my shirt and it pulls up all of my socials, all of my contacts and stuff. And I'm like, I need to get this out there.
Yeah.
I got on live. And people were like, oh my God, this is awesome. I just started talking about my life, being myself, and I hung up the live stream and was like, wait a minute. I really tapped into something here.
Yeah.
And girl, I started getting on live every day. And next thing you know, we are selling keychains all over, sweatshirts all over. Influencers are reaching out like, this is cool. And I was like, me being willing to just turn on the camera and put myself out there, it took away all of the theory that I thought about marketing and you got to do this and have this funnel and automation. There's a time and a place for that. But it was just like, I'm visible. I wanted to put it out there and talk about it and people responded.
So it was just going live on Instagram.
I just went live on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook.
I built the entire business from a Facebook page to a point where it outpaced my job and career as a regional HR manager.
So you just you did your sales pitch on Facebook, essentially, put links on there or whatever, and then people would go to your store and buy.
Yep.
Are you still doing that?
Yes. I go live Monday through Friday.
And how long do you go live for?
20 minutes, an hour.
It just depends on how you feel.
It depends, but I want to show up.
Yeah. And so what are you selling? Are you selling courses currently? Is that what you're selling?
So right now we have a couple of things that we sell. So we host events. So we sell tickets to the events. And then we have a program, the Conquer Club, which is just inviting women into the community. We host weekly support sessions. We do monthly meetups. So we sell that.
I love that. And they can buy tickets to any of those things to go to that stuff. Okay. That's awesome. So what are some practical steps if someone's watching this and they're like, okay, I would love what you're saying. I really want to put myself out there. If you're talking to a beginner, because a lot of the people that watch this are individual business owners or learning how to run a business or going through a process of learning how to run a business. If they're still in a position where maybe they don't own the business yet, but they're learning how to run and manage a business, what do you think would be the most exciting content or useful content for them to put on to start building their brand?
Oh, that's such a good question. I love this. I think the number one mindset shift for me and that I teach is that think of your content as documentation of your regular life. If you've got to get up and go to an Airbnb and curate this and get a makeup artist and go get this robe that you've never had to do content, baby, you already starting wrong. Think of it as documenting what you already do. So if you're a mom that budgets and you like coffee and you like your Shih Tzu dog, that's your brand. So when you walk your dog, you do your the 30-second video. When you do your budgeting every month, there's your content. That's your niche already. If you're a man that likes to barbecue, you like a little whiskey, you like a little cigar, document what you already do in your everyday life. It's the best type of content. It's going to be the most relatable type of content. And you don't have to freak out to try to curate it because you're living some type of fake lifestyle.
Yeah.
You just document.
You can't keep up with that.
Document your real life that you're already living. It's already good enough. There's no aesthetic that your house needs to be. Just be bold enough to turn that camera on and put it out. It's going to work.
What if people are afraid of the response, right? Because sometimes people are really mean.
Yeah.
So, how do you coach through that? Somebody,
Yeah.
I was joking on my page one time because I put out this random Facebook ad. And someone was like, this is the worst ad I've ever seen. And I was like, ouch, I didn't have any actual feelings. I'm like, this is hilarious, but also
dang,
who are you? You know what I mean? You didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
So how do you coach through that? Through the people that are just nasty all the time?
Yeah. I think if you ain't been trolled before, you probably ain't put out no content. But we have this saying in the Conquer Club that's we're going to be ghosted. We're going to be rejected. And we're probably going to be trolled a little bit. I think that it's tough, right? Because we're people, we're human. That stuff hurts. I can't just tell you just don't worry about it. Just deal with it because it sucks.
Yeah.
But I think that you're going to get way more positive. You're going to get way more everything. But I mean, if you're going to go for the 1%, if you're going to go for top of your game, if you're going to go for industry leading, if you're going to go for, hey, I want people to follow me. I want to be a leader. I want to empower. Then, baby, you better start developing your tough skin today.
Yeah, that's so true.
If you want to lead people and you want to lead movements and you want to do big things, it cannot come with this, I have to be liked, because that's not how it works. If you're extremely liked, you're probably not. I don't want to say if you're not extremely liked, because I don't want to make people think you got to be some type of mean girl, but everybody's not going to follow along.
Right. Yeah, you just have to have the thick skin to deal with it.
And that's
not going to go away.
And that's why you start with your 2.
Yeah.
And not your 2 million.
Likely. Yeah. Less likely to both those people not like you.
And then you develop your, the cool thing is, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, when you do start small, you get your core group. For those of you that are looking to build a following, you get your core group of people, baby, they're going to ride for you.
Yeah.
So you learn to
go through it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's a really good answer. How have you seen women take this advice and transform their business?
Oh, gosh. Oh gosh, I have so many good ones. We work with a travel agent in Missouri, and she's working her nursing job and just, doing social media, but wasn't really like in it, visible, going live. And she has just done what we suggest, which is this idea of like documenting your everyday life. She quit her job. She has skyrocketed her business, and we've seen that a couple of times where it is not even, I don't want to get into the whole quit your job for entrepreneurship conversation, because that's not a thing. But this idea of, if you're going to do it, then do it. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be visible, then do it. If you're going to say, I want to be out there, then that don't mean I can just show up when I feel like it, or a little 2 times a month or something. Like, you've got to go at it. And I've seen that the women that show up, the women that say, hey, I'm going to do it even if I don't feel perfect today, they win. And their audiences love it. If you are perfect and you win 1,000% of the time in front of your audience, I can guarantee they're not loyal to you.
No.
Yeah.
And so people that are like going through the process of growth in whatever industry, that content's pretty engaging, right? So they could just document what they're doing on a daily basis, as long as it's, okay with their employer or whatever. But they could document like their process of growth and development in whatever industry they're doing to build content really on the side from their day job. And then when that content takes off, or if it ever does, then that's what could essentially replace what they're doing, or they could build that brand before their business even starts, and then they have this whole following of their journey. And
it makes it more relatable. So let's say, for example, if I did credit repair, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 paths you can take. Somebody could say, hey, I'm doing credit repair. So that means I go get a photo shoot. I fold my arms. I go get a Benz and I do a photo shoot outside of that. And you try to curate something. Or you have somebody that's like, hey, I fixed my husband's credit. I fixed his coworker's credit and my mom's credit. I'm actually looking for 5 more people. And I want to kind of show y'all what that looks like for me to fix credit. Like, the reality of being a real person in a real world, bold visibility, changes the game.
Yeah. What mindset shifts do you think are the most important for women to feel more confident?
Liking yourself. And I say like, not love, because I know we all eat, pray, love, self-love, self-care, soft life. Like yourself. Like, really like you. And I always tell my girls about treating yourself like you would your best friend.
Yeah.
Like, if I came to you and was like, girl, I'm down today. That man broke my heart and I ain't feeling all this content because I gained a little weight. You'll be like, girl, listen, we finna go get something to eat and you about to turn on that camera and get to it.
Yeah.
That's got to be my inner voice. Treating yourself like your own best friend, liking yourself. Like, truly liking yourself, liking the way you look, the way you talk, the way that you sound, the way that you start small, like truly liking yourself on a level that you would another woman. Because we good at that. We good at hyping each other up and then we go cry in the car.
Yeah.
I know, I've been there before. I'll be like, girl, it's okay. Whole time I'm just a mess. But I've got I started treating Deb like, that's my girl. That's my best friend. Like, and she may be a little sad today, but tomorrow she gonna get to it.
Yeah.
Like, really liking yourself and whatever you got to do to get there. If that means therapy, if that means exercise, if that means getting a new man, leaving that one alone, or this business or that business, or a dog or no dog, whatever that looks like for you. Mm-hmm. When you wake up in the morning, you need to like that girl that's in the mirror. And if you don't, baby, it's time to do some work. And we've all done it before.
That's really good advice. Mm-hmm. And I like what you said, because it's not going to be love every day, but it's going to be like, okay, I can show up today for myself and for my business or whatever it is, and liking yourself enough to do that. Because a lot of times people hear their own voice and they're like, ugh.
Right. I heard my voice one time and I was like, girl, you sound a little raspy or something, And we do that because we live with ourselves 24/7.
Right.
So I know the good and bad. I know the stuff that I've done that I would never want anybody to see. I know the embarrassing moments. We know ourselves so much, so we kind of may overthink it sometimes. But child, it's normal. We all been there before.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is like a long-term ripple effect from doing something like this? Like, if somebody who's like bold enough to get out there and start their content and take some steps to do this today, whether it's working on themselves or just getting the content out there? What have you seen as like a long-term ripple effect?
Oh, I think if we revisit the last thing is you start to like yourself even more. And you also see how what really matters is not just the big stuff, but it's the small stuff. You know, I went back to Memphis, back home, and I remember my grandma passed away this summer. And so I went back to Memphis and we're at the wake and a family friend comes up and it's like, I see you on live. And I'm like, you follow me? You know, you just, Aww. And it's just one of those things. And I'm sure it happens to people when they create. You just never know who's watching. And I always say the days where you think it doesn't matter, the days where you feel like nobody's watching, all of that stuff adds up. All of it snowballs. Every time you touch the mic when nobody's listening, you're exercising that muscle to speak. Every time you show up and sell, even if one person bought, you're exercising that muscle for that pitch. So over time, you're so good at something and you don't even realize like you've been practicing for the game the whole time, and it just starts to snowball over time.
And what's something that someone could do today, right? They're watching this and they're in their car and they're like, man, this sounds like me. I've been nervous to do this, or I hate how I sound, or this, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, what's a piece of advice from your expertise that you're like, just do this today to get started?
I think that I know a lot of us may have like a Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or something, if you're a little young, where you have like a story feature, share something from your day today. Content is documentation. Content is not curating. So if you go get a coffee, share your coffee. If you and hubby go on a date tonight, share that. If you thought something that's like, this crossed my mind while I was in traffic today, share it.
Yeah.
And see. Share it in your story. Don't worry about putting on a production. Don't worry about going live. Don't worry about, I'm going to start a podcast to talk about this. Girl, throw it in your story today.
Keep it simple.
And keep it simple. And once you get in a habit of doing that, it's going to work. You're going to see the response. You're going to like yourself more. You're going to get more comfortable. And then you're going to naturally say, now that I've conquered that, now it's time for me to go something else.
I've done this before where I've done like content videos and then I've just like saved them in the drafts.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Oh, girl.
And then I've just like let them stockpile in there. And then like 2 days later, I watch it and I'm like, no.
Yes, that's so relatable. Oh, God.
But like, how do you, I feel like I just need to just post it immediately. Because then if I overthink it, I'm like, I never post it. Because I'm like, this is stupid. I shouldn't put that out there.
That's so relatable. I've done that before in the past too, where I create something, I go back and I be like, well, this sound a little crazy. I don't know if people gonna like that. But you're right. It's this matter of, it's twofold, because it's a little bit of fear of discomfort, because it's like, man, I'm really putting myself out there.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like, I'm really putting myself out there.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you post it and don't overthink it, you'll start to exercise the muscle of, hey, it doesn't have to be curated. That actually was a good piece of content. Like, what was I thinking? You know, or I actually wasn't so fat. Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the more you do it and start to exercise that muscle, like going to the gym, Lord, help us. Right. You start exercising that muscle little by little. You look up and like, okay.
It takes time.
It does take time. I didn't realize in the moment that I was doing it, but I was.
How long do you think someone should expect to post? If they post consistently, what is the average that you've seen timeline for it to really build confidence, but also traction?
Long time.
Yeah.
I say if you're about to hop on, see what's going to happen in a year.
Yeah.
Don't say, I'm going to give it 2 weeks or 2 months or 8 months.
Yeah.
Baby, if you're going to do it, you better be ready to go.
Yeah.
Seriously, it is going to take time. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because like we said, if you get on and you go viral today, that sounds awesome for sure.
But you're not ready.
That, and you've got nothing to go back and binge on. Have you ever found somebody's stuff?
Yeah.
And you're like, where have I been? This is episode 486.
Yeah.
Now I got to go back and watch.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what builds the loyalty. That's what builds the belonging. That's what make people say, these are my people.
Yeah.
Where have I been at? And you want that. If you're going to grow, if you want to build something that people want to be a part of, you want that bingeable content. You want people to go back and say, these are my people. Like, where have y'all been all my life? So
that's a really good point.
Go for it.
Yeah. So if people want to find you after this and they're like, this lady is speaking my language, how do they find your business and, get involved? If you're in the DFW area, that's where you are, which is fantastic. So can you tell us like how they would find you, like all your socials and things like that, but also, how they can get involved in what you're doing?
Absolutely. So we are everywhere at Conquer with Deb, YouTube, LinkedIn. We be on LinkedIn, Cutting Up, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're everywhere, Threads. And we also host Conquering Cocktails, which is our signature networking event. It is networking with the fun of a girls' night out.
Oh, fun.
So we network and we talk, but we also talk about our stories of conquering, what we're conquering in business, what we're conquering in life, what we're conquering in relationships. And you get a chance to network with other women. So we'll be doing that in September 27th in Mansfield is our next one. So we'll be hosting Conquering Cocktails, and we've hosted it in many cities like Atlanta, New Orleans, Chicago, Memphis, here in Dallas.
And who is this event for? Like, if you're listening, like, who should be the people that are like, ooh, I want to go to that event?
This is for women business owners, especially for those that are still working a job. You feel like you want to network and meet some more women, especially if you're a service or product based, if you're a coach, if you're a stylist, real estate agent. We have lots of ladies like that come to our events.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on here today. I think this was very, very helpful for me personally. So I appreciate you being here.
Of course, Julia. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.